Okay, let's unpack this deep dive because our sources today, they really hit a foundational truth about achievement, something a lot of people, frankly, might prefer to ignore. We're diving into excerpts from, well, a pretty sharp, unapologetic philosophy laid out in Goals, Plans, and the Price You Must Pay.
And the core premise, it's immediately confronting. It just rejects that whole modern fantasy,
Yep.
that success is something you can just manifest or wish into existence.
Right.
It's a clear-eyed statement that the price tag for genuine, lasting achievement, it's non-negotiable. And that price isn't money, not a single dollar, but sheer, sustained, well, effort, discipline, and sacrifice.
That's the key shift, isn't it? What we're trying to focus on for you today. We need to stop focusing on the easy part, which is just, setting the goal, and instead focus entirely on becoming the kind of person who's actually capable of achieving it.
Yeah, becoming that person. The material makes it brutally clear. Goals are pretty useless without direction. And, well, plans, they're useless without consistent, committed action.
What's fascinating here is how quickly the sources move away from the shiny outcome, the dream, and force you, the reader, to look squarely at the difficult, necessary input, the work.
Exactly.
The work. Which brings us to that quote that really, I think, defines this entire deep dive. You don't rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the level of your habits. I mean, if you want to know how successful you'll be, just look at what you do every day, not what you occasionally hope for.
Mm.
This whole journey, they argue, it's really just a test of your patience, your mindset, and your sheer willpower.
So if we look at the foundation, right, every great achievement has to start somewhere. The goal itself, that's the mechanism. It transforms all that random, maybe wasted energy into focused power.
Like channeling it.
Precisely. Without that direction, the sources use this great analogy.
Yeah.
Your life is like a ship without a compass. You might be moving fast, sure, but you're probably not arriving anywhere meaningful.
So, okay, if the goal is the start, its real purpose isn't just pointing to a finish line. Its true purpose is defining your why, right?
Yeah.
That clarity is what lets you cut out all the noise, the distractions, and start building real, irreversible direction.
But here's the critical point,
Yeah.
and it's easy to miss. This clarity isn't just found. It's not like stumbling upon it. It has to be created. The source material actually tells you, step back, engage in some, frankly, brutal self-reflection
Okay.
by asking 3 crucial questions. These questions, they basically determine your staying power.
Let's focus on these 3 then, because they sound like the mechanism that forces honesty. What are they?
Okay, first, what do I really, really want from my life? And this needs to be specific, not vague.
Hmm.
Second, why does it matter to me? Like emotionally, intellectually, what's the deep reason? This is the fuel.
Okay, specific want, the fuel, and the third one. That sounds like the real kicker, the one people usually skip.
It often is. It's
Yeah.
what am I willing to sacrifice to get it?
Wait, hang on. For a lot of people, that third question, what am I willing to sacrifice? That's the absolute hardest part. Are the sources clear on just how big those daily sacrifices might be? I mean, we're not just talking about giving up dessert, right? This could be time, comfort, maybe even sometimes relationships.
Oh, absolutely. It is the hardest part. And the sources, they don't sugarcoat it at all. The caveat they give is crystal clear. If your answers to those 3 questions aren't emotionally strong enough, if you haven't truly looked at the cost, calculated that sacrifice,
Yeah.
your goal just won't survive real-life pressure.
So when the alarm goes off at 5 a.m.
Exactly. Your weak why is going to lose to the very powerful, very real comfort of your bed every time.
So if the emotional cost of not achieving the goal is low, you'll naturally choose comfort over commitment
Right.
every single time. And that leads us straight into the next big hurdle, doesn't it? This
Yeah.
modern societal illusion of easy success.
Oh, yeah. We live in this incredible age where we're constantly bombarded with messages that success happens with like one click, one post overnight,
We see the highlight reel.
We see the highlight reel, the finished product, the sudden fame, the income. And it creates this really deep-seated but flawed belief that massive results should be instant.
But the material counters that illusion pretty hard, with a maybe harsh but necessary dose of reality. Success isn't instant. It's built painstakingly, slowly, through pain and patience and persistence.
You have to remember, every story you admire today, that overnight success, it's almost always built on like a decade of really unglamorous, unseen effort.
Yeah, the grind nobody films.
Exactly. And that leads directly to the non-negotiable price that nobody ever sees or talks about. We see the mansion, maybe, but we don't see the mountain of debt, The sleepless nights, the crippling self-doubt, the failures, the rejections, that struggle, that is the actual price of admission to the Success Club.
That's what separates the wishers from the winners, then.
It really is.
What I find genuinely powerful in the material is the shift they describe. The moment that goal becomes truly non-negotiable. It's like a psychological tipping point, right?
It's profound. It really is. The moment you commit completely, like really commit, you start thinking differently, working differently, even living differently.
That's so.
Well, you have to understand, success demands laser focus when everyone else is, scrolling or distracted. It demands persistence when others are quitting, giving up, and maybe most importantly, you need faith. Faith in the process, even when the results seem invisible or miles away. You have to keep paying that daily price, making those deposits, even when the ledger looks completely empty.
It's that moment you stop treating your goal like a preference, like a nice to have, and start treating it like a sacred commitment, a must have.
Yes, and that commitment, that's the real difference between just being a dreamer and actually being a doer.
Okay, let's talk about that difference. Dreamers versus doers.
Yeah, the delineation is stark, and it really boils down to action over intention. The sources make it plain. Everyone dreams, right?
Yeah.
But very few actually act.
So dreamers,
Dreamers talk, endlessly sometimes, about what it'll do someday. But doers, they start today, now. A dreamer waits around for motivation to strike, like hoping inspiration just descends from the heavens. A doer, they create their own momentum through relentless discipline.
I think that's maybe the most difficult truth in all of this. It hits home. Dreamers are ultimately loyal to their comfort zone. Doers are loyal only to progress. It's less about talent, maybe, and much more about execution.
Exactly, and execution requires moving beyond just, wishful thinking. That's where planning comes in. The source puts it so succinctly. The difference between a dream and a goal is a plan. Simple. And the difference between having a plan and actually achieving reality, that's consistent execution.
Okay, so goals are the what, plans are definitely the how. But how do we structure a plan that doesn't feel totally overwhelming, especially when we're talking about these massive, life-changing goals?
Right, good question. The function of planning is basically simple. It provides structure. That's its job. It breaks down what seems impossible into manageable, even tiny steps, daily actions. And these aren't just steps on a list. They become milestones. They build confidence.
So you see progress.
You see progress, and that progress itself gives you the momentum, the energy to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a key practical insight from the material. You absolutely do not need to know every single step of the whole journey from the start. You just need to identify and then execute the very next step.
Just the next one.
Just the next one. Once you take it, the path ahead tends to reveal itself just a little bit more.
Which means the real engine driving all of this, the thing that turns that plan into reality, it has to be discipline.
It has to be.
Yeah.
We absolutely need to make the case strongly for discipline over motivation. Motivation is, like an excited puppy. It's great when it's there, but it's totally unreliable.
Huh. Yeah, fleeting.
It comes and goes like the weather.
Yeah.
Right. You cannot build a life, a serious achievement on something so fleeting. Discipline, though, that's what keeps action consistent, day in, day out. Real winners, the material argues, don't rely on being in the mood. They show up every single day. Anyway, they understand that every small step matters, regardless of how they feel in that moment.
And that's the compounding effect we need to talk about, isn't it? It's the cumulative impact of all those small daily acts of discipline adding up over time.
Precisely. Consistency builds habits. And those ingrained habits, well, they are what ultimately shape your destiny. The source offers some incredibly simple, almost deceptively small habits to start with, things that can change your trajectory immediately.
Like what? What kind of small habits?
Well, they suggest starting with almost comically small things you can't really argue with, like waking up just 15 minutes earlier, reading for 15 minutes in your field, writing down your main goals daily just to keep them top of mind. Or maybe spending just one focused hour improving a skill that's directly related to your big ambition.
It's about making that tiny daily payment towards that non-negotiable price tag we talked about.
Exactly. A small deposit in the effort bank every single day.
Okay, so this all kind of boils down to a fundamental, maybe unavoidable life choice regarding effort. The source frames it in such a compelling way. Pain now or pain later. You have to choose which pain you're going to embrace.
This is the defining decision, really. You essentially have two options for pain in life related to effort. Option one, the temporary pain of discipline. Now, this is the pain of effort, the sting of sacrifice, the discomfort of control, that daily push against inertia. It's real, but it's temporary. Or Option 2, the eternal pain of regret.
Okay, unpack that second one. What does that eternal pain of regret actually feel like?
It's not sharp and sudden like discipline can sometimes feel. It's more chronic, it's slow, it gnaws at you. It's looking back and remembering the comfort you chose over the challenge, remembering the excuses you made, and seeing with painful clarity the opportunities you lost because you gave up too soon or never started. It's that quiet, constant, internal knowledge that you settled for less than you were capable of achieving. That pain, it's relentless.
Wow, that is powerful. Because years from now, you won't remember the comfort of that specific excuse you made today. You'll only remember the magnitude of the opportunity that just slipped away.
And this biggest struggle, it's important to remember what the sources emphasize. It isn't external. It's not usually about the competition or the circumstances. The biggest battle is internal. It's with your own mind. It's about silencing that persistent voice of resistance, the one that says you can't do it or it's too hard or maybe tomorrow.
So the challenges aren't roadblocks necessarily.
They argue that every single challenge you face isn't actually designed to break you. It's designed to prepare you, to prepare you for the size of your dream, the scale of your goal. You have to start viewing every obstacle as a necessary part of your training, your preparation.
Okay. So bringing this all home now for you, the listener, we need to circle back to that final decision required. This whole philosophy, it really seems to boil down to making one singular commitment. I will do whatever it takes for as long as it takes until this goal is realized. Full stop.
Success is found in that persistence, not in luck, not in momentary motivation, not even just in raw talent. It's the sticking power.
So stop waiting.
Stop waiting for the perfect time, please. That perfect moment, it doesn't exist. It's a myth. Today, right now, is your chance to draw a very clear, sharp line in the sand, a line between who you are right now and who you fundamentally want to become. You've absorbed the knowledge here. Now it's really time to act on the message.
And the sources, thankfully, provide a clear, immediate action plan, something you can execute right now. Maybe pause this for a moment, grab a notebook or your phone, whatever works, and write down your top 3 goals, the ones that genuinely matter to your future, the ones that really define your why.
Yep, get them down. And once those are written, you absolutely must hold yourself accountable. Ask yourself 3 very focused questions that demand actions starting today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. First, what's my single absolute first step toward this goal? Just one small thing.
Okay, first step. What else?
Second, what comfortable habit or maybe time-wasting activity must I stop doing right now to make room for this? What needs to go?
Making space. And the third question.
Third, what small daily action will move me measurably closer to this goal starting today?
Don't overthink the answer here. Just find something achievable, something you can actually do today and begin. Because success never, ever rewards those who just plan to start someday. It rewards the consistent doers, those who start and simply refuse to stop.
And that's really the ultimate challenge we want to leave you with today. Think about it. The world is absolutely saturated with dreamers, people who had great potential, great ideas. What the world actually needs now, what you need, is a doer. Prove it to yourself. Starting in the next 5 minutes, prove that you are ready to live the life you've imagined by starting to pay the price now, not later, today.